Mr. Kais, greeting. How are you?
Very good, very good. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sure, our pleasure and our honor. So, for the start, Mr. Kais, could you tell us about yourself? Like,
Absolutely.
simple introduction about yourself and what do you do exactly?
Of course. So I'm originally from Finland, but now trying to make this project work here in the UAE. So my original background is in investment banking, and I've been mainly, I would say the split has been 70-30, 70 being healthcare kind of deals and 30% focusing on technology.
Mhm.
And basically, I've been having my finger on the pulse, especially on the healthcare market for quite some time. And I would say more or less a couple of years ago, the buzzword for this, okay, longevity was really starting to appear.
Right.
And this was something that we were trying to figure out on how to take this concept to a next level and start providing
Mm.
services in this area. And unfortunately, the reality in Europe, where I'm from, it's the regulatory networks are quite tricky to navigate. So then we decided to look elsewhere, and UAE came up as a basically perfect place
Right.
to push for it and start it. So here we are after more or less a year of preparation, and finally made it to this stage. So yeah, in finance is basically where my career started, focusing on different healthcare ventures here and there, raising capital for pharmaceutical companies, companies also that provide medical devices. And yeah, after those few years, wanted to see if we could establish our own clinic. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
You mean like longevity clinic, right?
exactly.
And when we say longevity clinic, what do we mean by longevity clinic? Like, what sort of service you hope and aim to provide?
Absolutely. So what we mean by longevity is, well, I'll take it. Let's put it like this. So, healthcare today, you go to the doctor when you feel pain for the first time,
Right.
right? When something is already wrong,
Right.
and that's the other side of what we want to do is combine that with preventive
Right.
medicine,
Hmm.
meaning that you're already going to be going to the doctor to do, or to our clinic in this case, you would be doing a full body scan, for example, and just seeing like what kind of steps we can take to prevent those actual diseases or whatever hiccups coming in the future from
Hmm.
happening. So prevention is really the core driver, I would say, in the longevity. And as the name suggests, we want people to live longer, but not only that, but those final years to also be much more enjoyable, that you're going
Right.
to be in good health. So I would say that is what longevity in our project really
This is a big topic,
encompasses.
actually. And whenever we speak about um, being a physician or let's say somebody in healthcare, um, they always speak about treatment.
Yeah,
No, that's not the only thing. Early recognition and screening are really, if not more important than treating the patients, because you're trying to prevent, you're trying to catch the disease before it becomes worse or before
precisely. Yeah,
exactly and before it spread to your body. So and another way, when we say longevity, just like you mentioned, it's not about living longer. It's about living healthier
exactly.
and
It's
being
about the quality of life in
exactly
the end.
quality of life. This is
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say. Quality of life matters, especially like
exactly.
if you want to live longer, you don't want to you don't want to be bed bounded all the time. You want
Exactly.
to have a really good life, quality of life, what we say. So that's really interesting. So let me shift gears. Let's talk about Oasis and what is the core vision of the project?
Okay, so I would say what we're really trying to focus on is bringing a holistic project here.
Okay.
So what you find currently is different clinics and locations across the world,
Hmm.
also here in UAE. So I would say they are very fragmented. So there might be one location where you can go and you have more of the wellness aspect, so that there's a spa section, there might be a sauna, maybe some aesthetic treatments,
Hmm.
but it's not really scientific necessarily, or as scientific as it could be. And so we want to have the wellness side, the scientific side, the longevity side, all under one roof,
Okay.
so that you don't have to go to different locations to be taken care of, but you come to our facility and all of this will be done. And in terms of the actual building that we're trying to create, it's it's going to be quite large. I think the original thinking is around 16,000 square meters, and it's not only going to be the clinic that we have there, but it's also a hospitality.
Mhm.
Or we'll have a hospitality section. So there's going to be an ultra luxurious hotel. Uh, Ideally, of course, people can come to our location for one-time visit,
Mhm.
but we would, of course, prefer that you stay longer. So you can have different kinds of options, from health packs that are, let's say, 3-day options, all the way up to 21 days.
Okay.
And you would be staying in the hotel, which would consist of like fairly basic individual rooms or a double room, and then on the other extreme we would have villas where, like, you can make this a family occasion and come bring the whole family. Everyone gets to the clinic,
This
and
is exactly what came up to my mind.
yeah. So that's kind of the basic thinking in terms of the actual building. Also, I want to emphasize the design that we're thinking about. There's a
Mhm.
term that we've been using. It's called salutogenic design, which means
That's finished?
it's a concept that should promote, or it should promote wellness based on the environment.
Okay.
So it's not only the wellness in terms of the treatments that we want to provide, but it's
Mhm.
also the actual building that we want to be um, promoting that. And what I mean by this is, like I said, the actual clinic might be 16,000 square meters, but we'll need a lot of land for green areas.
Right.
There is going to be a lot of open spaces, because the
Mhm.
idea is that maybe you would live, or one of our clients would come from a busy city. Well, Dubai is right next door. Maybe you live downtown Sharjah and you just want to come into an oasis to relax and get away from all of the noise in the city. So
So
we want it to be a very tranquil and calm
right.
place.
So Oasis reflect like being calm,
Hmm.
relaxing place.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So you mentioned few important things actually. You mentioned treatment, longevity, and proven by science.
Hmm.
Could you elaborate on that part? Proven by science?
Yeah. So what we want to do is, well, Sharjah is actually a fantastic location for this, and SRTIP is incredible with all the access to the different universities that you have around
Right.
it. So, and this kind of goes back to some of the, like, I'm not trying to say that none of the already existing clinics are doing a terrible job necessarily, but we want to really focus on like, what I mean by science is the R&D side of things.
Right.
So obviously this whole field is cutting edge in everything. Everything is still developing, and we want to have partnerships with the local universities, for example, in here, so we can publish different kinds of studies that we will conduct. So there's like the research and development side that connects to being scientific, but also science side. Maybe you could connect it to the technology that we're going to be using.
I think
Is
especially when we speak about like stem cells and we speak about
Yeah,
regenerative therapies,
yeah.
I think this is the right place to be. So, could you tell me more about what sort of regenerative therapies that you guys offer?
Absolutely. And I'll take that maybe even to a bit of a higher level. So I'll connect it to the regenerative therapies, but I'll explain the main medical concept, which is called circular medicine. And what that means is it's based on three different pillars. Number one is the diagnostic side. So if you would come to the clinic, we'll test everything from doing blood analysis, to the saliva, to feces, urine, you name it. That those are going to be tested. Also, important part of that is you're going to have an interview with your doctor at the clinic, who's going to be asking questions about, let's say, your current lifestyle,
Mhm.
just for he or she to get an understanding of your, let's say, your daily routines, how your life is like, and how we can start and improve upon that. Then we would move from that area to the sort of follow-up and monetization.
Mhm.
This would be the second pillar. And what this means is that in terms of monitoring, we'd be using different kinds of gadgets. So, well, mainly wearables. So think about Fitbit on your wrist, or an Apple Watch, or an Aura Ring.
Mhm.
That's going to be providing a lot of that data,
Mhm.
which is obviously what we're going to utilize then to later create the right plan for you. So there's all of that. We also have, like, on the monetization section is also your nutrition and your food, because that's
Mhm.
going to be very important. So seeing kind of, I would say, what your daily habits are,
Right.
and how can we create a program that's actually
Mm.
very holistic, and obviously it's going to be completely personal to you. So no one will have the exact same. Obviously, we're all individuals and very different
We're
needs and
different.
bodies. So the idea is that it's going to be very personalized. And once the follow-up and monetization sort of is done, and also this requires, by the way, requires a lot of effort also from you as a client,
Right.
because this whole circular medicine strategy won't really work unless you're willing to change your own behavior.
Right.
So that's very important part of this whole thing. And then I would say the final pillar is going to be then the actual therapies that
Mhm.
we offer. So that'll be the stem cells, for
Mhm.
example, or genetic therapies, which would be more on the regenerative side, but also to, like, a very simple, like, we will provide you with recipes for how to make your meals based upon how the results were on when we were diagnosing you.
Mm.
And of course, when it comes to nutrition, that should be the basis,
Right.
or food should be the basis for you to get all of the nutrients.
Right.
We do offer supplements, but supplements are supplementary.
Right.
So
Exactly.
let's say you one day the app, for example, shows through the device that you are deficient on vitamin D. Um,
Which
Typically,
which all of us do, actually.
yeah, yeah. It could be vitamin D, vitamin C, omega-3, whatever it might be. And through that, we're trying to first combat those deficiencies through food, or something, or drinks. But then the next one would be supplements.
Right. But I want to speak about more about regenerative medicine. So you do stem cells.
Yeah.
What other things you do as well?
Well, there's I would say, the stem cells and the genetic therapies are the main ones.
Right. Could
So
you elaborate
using
more on
your
that, on genetic therapies?
Well, that's I don't have the best expertise on this.
Right.
I can't give you a very good medical
Right.
overview on that.
So, I mean, the thing is, I mean, you're trying something. It's been tried before. I mean, do you have you tried this one back there in Europe or maybe in Finland with results?
No,
Mm.
we haven't, because basically when it comes to these kinds of treatments, it's the regulatory framework is not
Right.
it doesn't allow for that.
Right.
So it's difficult to say
Yeah. Right.
from home, because there really isn't an example that would be
Right.
pushing it to this level.
Yeah, I think you're in the right place here in Sharjah at
Yeah,
Spark, because this place is the right place. So it could help you, and you can proceed with your project as well.
exactly. And I think here it's obviously we're still taking the measures and steps to make sure that everything goes by the book, and everything is safe. But at least the environment here allows for you to experiment on these
Right.
things. And
Right.
there's like, from that point of view, the landscape is a bit more relaxed, and people are actually open to these kinds of things.
Right.
Because in Europe, I would say it's going to take quite a long time for the legal framework to change.
Right.
And before you could open something like this in an EU country, UAE is going to be way ahead in all of
Right.
this in comparison to where I come from.
True, exactly. And stem cell therapy, it's a hot topic everywhere now, right?
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
mean, even here when we spoke about it yesterday, Dr. Abdsalam and everybody else kept speaking about it. We know more now, and we can see a future
yeah,
behind the stem cell therapy as well.
absolutely.
So, what is the role of technology?
Yeah. So this is I would say, one of the key elements how we try to basically separate ourselves from the competition.
Right.
So I would say the number one thing is we would like to utilize AI on all of this.
Mhm.
So we want to create a digital twin of you. So through the algorithm, that'll be connected to an app that we will create, and you'll have access. Well, there will be a digital version of yourself that you can monitor on your phone, and that in the app will be combined by the wearables I was talking about earlier. So you will be able to get all of that data through through those wearables. And currently, that I know, at least that I don't know of, there really aren't people that are pushing the tech side
Mm-hmm.
very heavily. So also through the app, you would have access to consultations with your doctor. But yeah, all of the information when we monitor you is going to be based on the digital twin that we create of yourself,
Right.
the device, and then connecting that to the app. And outside of that, it's also that we want to really put effort into the actual devices that we use to operate the clinic. So
Mhm.
different kinds of scanners. We've been having initial discussions, for example, with Philips to provide the latest and greatest technologies. But it's not only the big and established companies, but also the startups. I know we've had some discussions with a startup based in the US that basically provides a body scanner that will scan your whole body from head to toe
Okay.
and tell you if something is wrong. So we're trying to be cutting edge when it comes to all of this, and
Mhm.
that also means working with new startups that are coming on the field and trying to see where we can always improve on
Right.
our offering. And the final part is just we're gonna have a very, I would say, holistic website as well. I think today, I mean, this is a very basic level of tech, but I do see often that websites are not constantly monitored or updated, which then makes them look a bit old and there's not all of the most relevant information. So we want to be really active in terms of, like, let's say it could be news or send a newsletter, have a blog where we're constantly updating our clients and whoever enters the website on, like, the latest and greatest trends
Right.
in the field.
Right. I think these are two important pillars. I would say accessibility, just like you mentioned,
Exactly.
through website or maybe the apps,
Yeah.
and early recognition.
Yeah.
These are really two important things.
Exactly.
So future plans.
Oof. So right now, of course, this is our number one focus, being here in UAE and specifically in Sharjah.
Mm-hmm.
But the vision is quite global. And like I said, the problem is that we can't go to Europe, at least as of now. But you have massive interest in Asia. China is really big on stem cell therapies and pushing these clinic forward. India is really advanced on this. You have similar setups in Thailand and in other Southeast Asian countries. So we want to eventually expand into different regions of the world. Um, Also in South America, there could be some
Mm.
really interesting
Right.
opportunities, but ultimately it'll be based in here, and this is where it all started from. So we really, Oasis Longevity, want to be the household name for these kinds of treatments, and that people actually come to us because they know that we provide the best options
That's
possible.
why you're called Oasis Longevity. Right.
Exactly.
Anyway, nice meeting you, Mr. Kaios.
Likewise, Khalid.
Thank you very much for the really informative information that you provided.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Pleasure.
It's been an honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.